Bunny Tears. What's crackin' Bunny Ballers? My name is Bunny Tears. Welcome to my breakdown of the Xbox reveal live stream, which took place no more than 10 minutes ago. I'm doing this straight away. Now, oh my god, I'm actually too excited about this. Everything I've just seen has pretty much driven me insane with excitement. So I'm going to go through everything that happened in this live stream in the same order that they went through it, and I'm going to give you little bits of information that they didn't particularly say, but I think are definitely going to be implemented in this next generation console. So obviously, the first thing you're going to want to know, the new Xbox is called Xbox One. That's Xbox O-N-E. Xbox One, like the number. Okay, now they also showed us pictures of the actual console itself and controllers, but as always, first thing is first. The gameplays you're going to be seeing throughout this video, firstly, it was just a normal domination, which I played yesterday. It was the domination where I actually got my Scorpion gold, so I'm happy to get that out the way. And also, the second gameplay is going to be hardcore domination, where I'm trying to get my snipers gold, but as you guys probably know, some of the snipers, you have to get one shot, one kills, and you can't get them in core. You just can't do it. So we went into hardcore, that's what you're watching. But for now, here are the pictures of the controller, of the console itself, and of the new Kinect. So I'm going to scroll through them, and then it will just go back into the gameplay once that's done. Now, the first thing they showed us was how they turned the console on. Now, it was pretty much quite similar to what they showed in the PS3 reveal, which was that it seems to be like it's always in a standby state. It's always ready to just turn on whenever you want it to. He basically stood in front of the Kinect sensor, and you just said, Xbox on. The Xbox turned on and automatically signed him into his profile because it recognized his face. Now, we all knew this was coming. We all had these things going about in our head as to what this meant. However, this was the only occasion where they actually showed what facial recognition would be doing for the new Xbox, so I won't talk any more about that. Now, another good thing that the Xbox One does is it remembers what you were actually doing the last time you were on. So, for example, if you were playing a game, once the homepage comes up, then that game is right there, easy to access, and it means you can get straight back into the action if you should so choose. Another thing they've actually added is another tab on the Xbox homepage, which is called Trending. Now, this is pretty much as easy as it sounds. It means that you go onto this page and you get shown all of the things that are popular amongst your friends as well as amongst all of the Xbox players across the globe. So you can see what's popular and decide, yeah, maybe I'll get that, or decide, no, even though they're popular, I'm just going to leave those alone. So I think that's pretty interesting as well. Now, he then went into kind of a show of the vocal capabilities of the new Kinect and how easy it was to switch between different things. Now, here's where it gets impressive. While the Xbox was on in front of this man, all he said was, Xbox, watch TV, and the Xbox switched itself onto live television. So it means that he didn't have to change the channel of the TV. He didn't have to unplug his Xbox and plug in a Freeview box or anything stupid like that. He just said the words, Xbox watch TV, and live television was there. If that wasn't enough, while he was watching TV, he just said, go to music. And it went back to the Xbox and started playing the music that he wanted it to play. Then he said, go to game. And it went straight into the game that he was previously playing. He then said, go to movie. And the movie he was previously watching continued from the point that he was just watching it at. It was so easy that he actually went backwards and forwards like it was a game. And every transition took less than a second. It was almost instant. So he said Xbox Watch TV, boom, the TV was there. Now, the thing I like about what they're doing with the Kinect now is that it almost seems as if they've taken all of the motions that you usually do on a touchscreen device like an iPad and things like that, and they've implemented them into the Kinect. In the same way that, let's say you want to zoom in on something on your iPad. The way to do that, you put your two fingers on the screen and you pull them apart. The way to zoom out is to put your two fingers on the screen and pull them together. He did those two motions using the Kinect with his hands. Now, he basically showed him opening the movie by pulling his hands apart and the movie going full screen. Then it showed him closing the movie by pushing his hands together, and the movie went into a smaller window on the Xbox home screen. The next thing he showed us, which I thought was very, very impressive, was something called Snap Mode, which basically allows you to open more than one page on your Xbox. So while he was watching a film, he put a voice command into the Kinect, and it opened Internet Explorer on the side of the film without closing the film. He then began asking Internet Explorer questions about the film he was watching, and the answers came up on the right side of the screen in like a sort of Bing bar looking thing, while he was still able to continue watching the film. Now this is going to be huge. This is more like a computer. This was something you could not do on the Xbox. If you wanted to find out something about the film, you'd have to turn the film off completely, and you'd have to open up the Internet Explorer on your own. So this is just going to make our lives that much easier. Skype is coming to the Xbox. Skype is coming to the Xbox. And they're using the Kinect. So if someone's calling you on Skype while you're watching a movie, you can just say, Xbox answer call. And then another small window, like just like the Internet Explorer, comes up, shows the person you're talking to, and you can talk to them while you watch the film if you decide to. Or you can push your hands together, close the film, and take Skype into the full screen. Now the good thing about Skype on Xbox is the camera on the Kinect is 1080p. HD, baby. I've been waiting for this. I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't know if it would be that good. So basically, you've got the best camera you can get on your Xbox. You can go into Skype, and it literally looked like a person's just looking through a window into a room you're sitting in. I can't wait for this. That is actually going to make my life so much easier. Now, the next thing. There was unbelievable integration and interactive television. This was things like, he was watching a certain thing on TV, and then he said, Xbox Open Guide. And the TV guide opened on the screen. He was then able to choose films, either using his hands or his voice, and choose television programs. Whatever was on TV at the time, he was able to choose just by saying that. Not only that, but he was able to say things like, what's on HBO? TV guide pops up, shows him exactly what's on HBO. If he said, switch to MTV, the Xbox changes the channel for him to MTV. We're never going to have to move. Remote controls, TV remotes are absolutely dead. This is the future. It is the future. Let me see. They also have the trending thing for live TV as well. So not only can you get the guide up, but the guide will tell you what your friends like to watch on TV. And that's not only for television programs that you watch on live TV, that's also for video on demand, films. So I reckon LoveFilm and Netflix are going to be integrated into all of this, which is huge for me at least. Now, they showed how Smart Glass is implemented, and I heard Woody's Gamertag talking about how it could be implemented, and what I've seen is very impressive. It basically showed someone with a tablet playing a game, and the map for that game was there in 3D on the tablet without him having to open it on the actual game itself. So they are going to be integrating this Smart Glass technology into games in a way we've never seen before. Imagine playing Skyrim and having your iPad in your hand, and then just clicking map on the iPad, continuing to play Skyrim while you watch your little cursor move about on the map on your iPad. Games are going to be that much easier. Now here's something that I noticed that I found very, very good, for me at least. I was worried that my capture card wouldn't work on the new consoles. Luckily, it's still HDMI cables that are used, so you can still use your old capture cards on Xbox One. A Blu-ray player is present in Xbox One, as well as 8 GB of RAM, which is what we expected. Not only does the Xbox One have the Xbox software, the new Xbox One software, but it also has Windows integrated. It almost looked like the home screen was Windows 8. Now, I don't usually like Windows 8 on a desktop, but if you have it on a touchscreen device, it's unbelievable. And since the Kinect reacts like a touchscreen device, it is going to be incredible. The controller. The controller, the only real thing that I noticed that was amazing about it is the new integrated battery compartment, which means that you don't have to remove battery things anymore. You can pretty much just slot something in like a bullet or something. I'm not really sure how it's going to work, but that's what they said, integrated battery compartments, as well as high performance all around on pretty much everything. They changed all the way the buttons work, all the way the analogs work, triggers, etc., basically to just make it as high performance as possible. Now, when you're using that controller, the Kinect can recognize what you're doing at that time. So, for example, if you're playing a game where you use a sword and shield, you can raise your hand slightly with the controller, and your character lifts up his shield. This will be interesting to see how they actually implement this with certain games, and I'm very excited to see that. They also said Kinect is linked with non-Kinect games. So you mentioned that if, say, you're playing a war game, you can shout commands to your other soldiers without having a mic on whatsoever. Say, "Oi, ugly, go over there and kill that guy," without having a mic on. And they'll understand and go over and kill that guy. So, I think that's going to be interesting as well. What else have we got here? They said there's an entirely new Xbox Live. You heard me right. An entirely new Xbox Live. That may have made some of you worry. But then they also said it's the same memberships that we previously had, but with a new Xbox Live. There used to be, or there is at the moment, 15,000 online servers supporting Xbox Live right now. For the new Xbox Live, there are going to be 300,000 online servers supporting the new Xbox Live. There are more in-depth achievements which don't tell you just what you've achieved, but also how you achieved it. There are more players able to get into online games because of the added servers. So if you thought Battlefield had a lot of people in it, I imagine there's going to be games coming out where you're basically in an entire city playing an online game with hundreds of people. I've been talking about this for years. I've wanted this for years, and I pray a games company does this for me particularly. I don't care if they do it for you, because if they do it for me, they do it for all of us. What else do we have here? Oh yes, then a representative from EA came out. I'm not much of a sports game fan myself. However, he did mention FIFA, Madden, NBA, and UFC. The new ones are all coming out in the next 12 months. With FIFA, Ultimate Team is only on Xbox. So, sorry PS3 guys, but only on Xbox. So if you're planning to get a PS4, you can't play Ultimate Team. They're using a new game engine called Ignite, and the most impressive thing I thought about this game engine was that they tried to make it so that the people you're playing against are as smart as humans. So, let's say you're on normal difficulty, you're going to be playing against someone who has as much skill as a footballer as you will playing the game as a footballer. And if you're playing on easy, it's not going to feel like, for example, I'm going to talk about UFC. If you're fighting a guy on easy now in UFC on the Xbox 360, it feels like you're fighting someone who just doesn't like to block and doesn't like to throw punches. Whereas now, it's going to feel like you're fighting someone who hasn't been trained enough to know how to block properly and hasn't been trained enough to know when to strike you. So, you're actually going to be fighting what is essentially a human. And the difficulties are just basically going to be not trained, less trained, well-trained, professional, amazing, God. The graphics in these games was crazy, to the extent that at one point a football, or a soccer ball for you Americans, went in the back of a net, and the noise it made when it hit the back of the net, and just the slow motion of it, it was slowed down very much, and the graphics meant that I knew exactly what that ball would feel like in my hands. I knew what that ball would feel like if I run my hands across it. I knew what that ball would sound like if I hit my hand into the side of it. It was that impressive. They also then went on to show Forza Motorsports. And again, the graphics in this game were unbelievable. At one point, a car skids around a corner. It hits into slow motion. It shows the tires in slow motion, spinning, and it shows them picking up water off of the road. And it was basically real. It was essentially so good that it just looked real. And again, I knew exactly what the tires on that car felt like. I knew exactly what the carbon fiber on the car felt like. I knew what it smelled like. That's how good the graphics were. It was ridiculous. They then moved on to a game called Quantum Break. Now, they didn't show much of this game, which was kind of annoying. But it came up with a slogan saying, "Time is the fire in which we burn." I don't know what that means, but it did look impressive graphics-wise. They didn't show too much, but they also showed something quite strange. There was the implementation of live action in the game. Now, if you don't know what live action is, it's basically where real people are acting out scenes. So real people were acting out scenes from this game. I don't know if that's going to be in the final game or if it was just for the reveal to kind of spice it up a little bit. But if it is in the final game, I don't know how that's going to go down. I think I personally prefer amazing graphics to live action in games. They said that there are more titles being developed now than at any previous point in Xbox history. So it looks like we're going to have a lot of games to mess around with. They also mentioned that 15 exclusive games are being released in the first year of Xbox One, and 8 of those 15 are going to be new releases that we haven't seen before. I love new releases, but I also love old releases, which means that we can do with the quick maths. We can basically work out from that there are also 7 old releases coming back just for the Xbox. We get a lot. They treat us a lot. Next part was probably the most exciting part, in my opinion. Everyone has seen Forward Unto Dawn. It's the Halo series, internet series that was ridiculously popular, and it was basically breathtaking. It was something we'd all wanted to see for so long. They have announced that there is a live-action Halo television series coming to the Xbox, directed by the Godfather himself, Steven Spielberg. You heard that right. So it's going to be a live-action Halo TV series on the Xbox, directed by Steven Spielberg. It doesn't get any better than that. It really doesn't. Now, they didn't give us a date for the launch of this console, however, they said it's later this year, so we can expect it to be in 2013, and they said there's going to be more information on games at E3. Then, shit got real. As it was all ready and finished, they were saying their goodbyes, thanking you for coming, thanking you for watching. The Ghost mask comes on the screen, and they begin to talk about Call of Duty Ghosts. Here's the info, people. Right, DLC still coming out earlier on the Xbox One than it will be on the PS4. Sorry, PS4 guys, but it looks like you've got another year. Or, actually, no. Oh my god. I thought a year. No, okay, you've got a number of years of waiting a month before you get the DLC, as you did with the PS3. Sorry to say it, but it's happening. They said there's a new next-generation engine, which I was pretty excited about. It looked very good. One thing they stressed a lot, and I'm not sure why. Well, I kind of know why. But one thing they stressed a lot was that there are brand new characters and a brand new world in Call of Duty Ghosts. Brand new characters and a brand new world. They said this about 4 or 5 times. I didn't really understand what that meant until we moved on a little bit. And here's what they meant. There is more emotional attraction to the people you are playing alongside and your surroundings. That's unreal, because the emotional attraction I have for people like Captain Price at the moment is borderline homosexual. So if they take it further, I may have to just go full gay. So if it gets that good, which by the looks of things it will, I'm going to be a very happy bunny. The person writing this game also happened to write a little film called Traffic, for which he won an Academy Award. So we know the story is going to be good again. They then went on to explain that the Ghosts is actually a team of survivors of some kind of Holocaust, and it's made up of what's left of all of the special forces. You are the underdog, fighting against a greater force. It was very apocalyptic what they showed us. Woody's Gamertag has been calling this for like the past month. He's been saying it's going to be apocalyptic, something happens, it's in the future, but we're using current guns because of the apocalypse. That is essentially what's going to be happening. You are what's left of us, and you need to save us. What else have they got here? The features they've added. There's now a lean feature, which means you can stand behind a corner and just lean out, rather than having to step out to shoot someone. This is going to be extremely fun in multiplayer, but there is more that is going to be even funner in multiplayer. The dolphin dive has been replaced with the slide. That's not too big, because the slide kind of looked like it went the same distance. There was still the same amount of time when you couldn't use your gun. However, it means that rather than flying through mid-air, you can slide behind objects. So people won't be able to shoot you mid-dolphin dive anymore, because you're going to be sliding along the floor towards them. Kind of like a crazy drop shot. What else have we got here? Dynamic multiplayer maps. If you don't know what that means, dynamic multiplayer maps means that you can change the map. Not change it as in like, oh, I don't want to play hijacked anymore, I want to play carrier. I mean, you're playing carrier, and then you make one of the planes take off. That's what dynamic multiplayer maps is. They then mentioned 3 things. 1, I liked. 2, I'm not sure about. The 2 I'm not sure about was they mentioned earthquakes and floods in multiplayer maps. Now, we've seen lava flows, lava rivers. We've seen basically floods already. We've seen gondolas that randomly knock you out and kill you. Is it going to be good in the new game? There's no way of knowing at the moment because it's a completely new engine and the graphics could make it very fun. Then the thing I was excited about. They mentioned openable doors. I can't imagine something that will give me more pleasure than standing behind a door, waiting for someone to open it, so I can scare the shit out of them. That may well be the defining thing in my future gaming on Call of Duty. That's what I'm going to be doing forever from now on. Just hiding behind doors. If you end up in a game with me, check behind every door you walk through, bitch, because I'll be there. And the most exciting thing, I think, they said in the entire thing, which I actually guessed in advance. It's in one of my Minecraft episodes that I haven't put up yet. But I was talking to you guys about, what do you think about Call of Duty Ghosts? Here's something that I think they could put in, and they are putting it in. Customizable characters in multiplayer. You can choose their clothes, what kind of head they have, what kind of body they have, what kind of legs they have, what clothes they're wearing on each part of those. This is going to be cool, because I'm going to be running around in full pink, so everyone can see me with a big bunny on my head, which probably isn't going to be possible. It seems like quite a serious game, but I'll hack it and put a bunny on my head. It's going to be fun. They then showed that there are dogs in this game. However, they're nothing like the old dogs we've seen. The dogs are part of the team. This is going back to the story mode, I'm pretty sure. And you get emotionally attached to these dogs. They are part of Ghost Squad, which is what I've just decided to call it. Then they compared the graphics of Modern Warfare 3, their last game, to Ghosts. And I can say this completely comfortably. The two side by side, Ghosts made Modern Warfare 3 look like Crash Bandicoot. It really did. They'd show Modern Warfare 3, they'd show the arms of the character from multiplayer, which is what you always see. And I was like, yeah, that looks about right. Then they'd show the arms of the multiplayer from Ghosts. And I'd be like, whose arms are they? Why has someone detached their arms? That is real arms. They showed his fingernails with dirt underneath it. They showed cuts and bruises on his hands. How far can this go? It is unbelievable. Again, the in-game footage made it seem like an apocalyptic feel, and there was a very, very team-esque feel to the story. I feel like the team won't be that big. You'll know all of the characters in your team, and you'll be very emotionally attached to them, which probably means that they're going to kill them all. Because we all know how Call of Duty is. I guarantee the dog's going to die, because it's a dog, and you love dogs. You prefer a human died than a dog, so they're going to kill the dog, and everyone else as well, because it's Call of Duty, what do you expect? And if they're bringing in more emotional attachment to the characters, why would they even mention that if they're not going to kill anyone? If you're more emotionally attached to them, and you just want to give them high fives over Connect, and everything's good, it's not going to be quite Call of Duty, is it? It's going to be Viva Pinata. Anyway, guys, that is it. That took a long time. I'm sorry the video was so long. I hope you have enjoyed. I am now going to go and take a break. My head is just full of Xbox shit. If you have enjoyed, please do hit up the like button. And if you haven't seen the live stream, I'm sure you can see it somewhere, because it is definitely worth watching. And I'm not going to make a decision yet, because right now I'm more excited about Xbox One than I am about PS4. But that's probably because I just watched the live stream. However, I will be bringing out a video pretty soon, once I've calmed down, about which one I think is going to be the better console. So, as always, thank you for watching. And buddy out, bitches! What's cracking, Bunny Ballers? My name is Bunny Tears.